Bob Ross, right?
The happy little clouds.
It was always amazing because he would start with just a blob of color. And then you could turn away from the television for like 15 seconds. You turn back around, all of a sudden it's a nimbus cloud.
Yep.
Deep in the hole, it's short. Tegan Smith for out number 2. And then 20 minutes later, here's a cabin in the woods and an approaching rainstorm. And yet Bob Ross has a way of just making it ever so calm and beautiful.
Not only that, but you can watch him and go, I could do that.
And
he
you
made you
can't.
believe that you could do it.
And I couldn't, even though he did give me that belief.
He's the ultimate confidence builder. I appreciate him.
We need more confidence in softball.
Thank you, Bob Ross.
Des Patman, off speed of the heart of the plate. Patman from San Diego, Patrick Henry High School. Began her career at North Carolina A&T, part of the all-freshman team in the Big South. 2022. A couple of hops over to short. Smith again. How about a 1-2-3 frame?
Low in the zone, getting batters to swing and miss. And how about the high heat, getting her to spin in circles at the end.
Well, speaking of spinning, how about two-time Olympic gold medalist Jade Carey here at Jane Sanders Stadium. Went to Oregon State, right up the road, of course, in Corvallis, taking in the action. Stars are out tonight in the Great Northwest.
She's amazing. Kind of fun to watch stars show up to softball.
Winner of this game gets Stanford. First of 3 matchups tomorrow here in Eugene. Very busy Saturday afternoon here and around the country. The tournament underway. We've seen a handful of upsets. Delgado the batter. And it's 0-2. Utah native, just a sophomore. Raya Delgado, Riverton High School. Lindsey Grimes, stop me if you've heard this before. Another strikeout, 4 in a row. And 6 in this game.
Her career high is 12 strikeouts. She's already got 6 here in this game. You can see how fast she's blowing it by these Weber State hitters. They're going to have to catch up to her speed first, and then they're going to have to deal with the movement. But here they're about to circle second time through this lineup. McMahon, the number 9 hitter here.
Six strikeouts, 1 ground out so far. Lindsey Grimes in command. Gave up the 1 infield hit to Tegan Smith. Nothing in 2. Entertaining game earlier today. First matchup with Stanford and Binghamton. America East champions. 3-2, 3rd inning. Bearcats had some mojo. This one's going to sneak through the left side of the infield. And it gets to Luchar out in left field. Second hit of the game for Weber State. And it comes from the number 9 hitter, Jordan McMahon. All smiles standing on first.
That's a great job by McMahon, because as a slapper, all she needed to do was get her barrel on a ball and get it through the zone. And that's what she did here. You can see she just gets her barrel through the 5-6 hole. Finds a way to get on base. That's all she's trying to do. Find some way to beat something out and gets it through the infield.
Whalen swings through the high heat. Big upset to report in Baton Rouge. Jenny, give us the breaking news.
Well, I think you should ask me what I think the biggest game was again. Southeastern Louisiana, you guys, just beat LSU.
4-3.
4-3. My goodness. Mayhem.
And Whalen is retired as well. Strikeout number 7. So it's back to the top of the order, 2 away. Riley Whalen strikes out for the 2nd time.
Pitch low in the zone. You're just seeing the Wildcats expand this strike zone on pitches not even close to the zone. Whalen seeing this pitch and reaching for it. Her 2nd strikeout of the day. Grind 7th. All swinging, by the way.
Tegan Smith, 1 for 1. McMahon standing at first base. Grind in the circle. Virginia Tech transfer. Up and away. Stanford went on to win that game 9-2 over Binghamton. 3-2 early before the Cardinal slammed the door shut. Kylie Chung to center field. And Luchar underneath. Kedry makes the call and the catch.
I think she's doing a great job keeping the team in the game, right? The defense has to keep the team in the game until the bats do the job. And she's done a really good job, with the exception of the 1-pitch home run that Riley McCoy had. She's really done a good job getting outs.
Kaylin Jones digs in for the Oregon Ducks. Freshman out of Denton, Texas, just north of Dallas. Went to Denton High School. 0-2 to count. Crowd loved that call.
I thought it was a good pitch on the outside corner.
Well, of course you did.
Home crowd here, of course, but it was a good pitcher's corner. I'm sure they would think differently if Lindsey Grind threw it there.
How big of a difference in your mind is it to have this home field advantage? Oregon was on the road last year. We called the games down in the Norman Regional, a packed house at Loves Field, an incredible environment. And Oregon lost 3-2 in the game that eliminated the Ducks from the postseason.
Yeah, I think you know your fans, and I think you love your fans no matter who you are. So home field advantage matters big time. I think there's a lot of things beyond just your fans. I mean, the fact that Oregon's been able to practice at home and not have to travel has mattered too. So there's a lot to it, but the fact that you've got a home crowd that is supporting, you know, a pitch that could have been a strike or was a strike that they're complaining wasn't a strike. I mean, all of those things that kind of feed into the momentum and or energy of you trying to win a ball game. I mean, there's a reason why winning at home feels so good.
Slap off the glove of McCraw, over to second, and it's in time. The old 1-4-3, and now 5 in a row retired by McCraw.
A little bit of an assist here from Callie McCraw, but hey, a quick play there from Sadie Kirk to stay and continue to make the play. Jones has some decent speed, and yet they still found a way to make the play. A good follow through.
First pitch strike to Katie Flannery at the start at third base again. Native of Birmingham, Alabama, Spain Park High School. One of the top freshmen on this roster a season ago. Of course, the big story last year when Oregon went to Norman for that regional. Missy Lombardi returning where she played the sport and then coached with the Hall of Famer Patty Gasso. We were in those meetings and talked to everyone involved, and it was an emotional scene, really, for all of those games. Cleveland State and Boston University also a part of that Norman Regional. You and I went back and were double-checking some of those scores and what happened earlier today. But it's a different scene this year, and we actually asked Coach Lombardi, are you sweating it out in the selection show? And she said, no. We are ready for whatever is sent our way this year. And last year, how the season ended has helped motivate us to become the best versions of ourselves this go around.
Yeah, they certainly talked about, and Missy Lombardi talked about how that the first loss to Oklahoma last year and then that second loss that was the heartbreaker close game to Oklahoma was the difference between essentially watching girls turn into women and how they've been able to have essentially a chip on their shoulder going into this year and understanding what it takes to win and get to this point. And this is a team that, I mean, the amount of times we heard them say throughout this week that they stuck to their game plan and their goals and have not veered away from it, and they're intentional about the process this year and that they believe they can get it done. I mean, these are all things that every single one of them have said. You could put them all in the room individually and they would have said it on their own. It's been very intentional what they've done this year, and they said they veered away from it last year. And so they've been very intentional on continuing to bring up their goals and what they intend to do, and that they've been prepared for postseason on day one of the season this year.
Top of the order, second time through, Kyla Schar. Grounded out to shortstop her first time up. Close play at first base. 2 straight out of the zone for McCraw, who now has retired 6 in a row after the solo blast off the bat of Riley McCoy. Only run of this game. Winner gets Stanford tomorrow. Loser gets Binghamton. Elimination contest shortly thereafter.
You do not see a shift here on Kyla Schar. You can see the right fielder Burkich actually playing the line, or closer to the line there. Right field, you see ball 4.
First walk issued by McCraw. Schar at first base leads American stolen bases.
Wait for it.
Well, we talked about it earlier, and opposing coaches will tell you she gets at first base, it's almost like a double. It is a double.
It's not that she doesn't get thrown out, but if you're Eva Richardson behind the plate, you better be ready.
You can see the communication between Richardson and McCraw. Schar faked like she was going to go, then retreated. And now that's going to prompt a conversation. It's a big moment here. 1-0 ball game. Weber State firmly in it. And you always get the sense with Oregon, the Schar sisters are on the base paths, that something big could happen. And they've got some big bats coming up, including McCoy in the on-deck circle after Sinicki.
Well, and if you think about it, like, this is where things can kind of get dangerous as a defense if you start taking your focus off the task at hand, which is there are 2 outs, work to get an out, and the runner at first, no matter how fast you are and how quickly she can steal, shouldn't matter. You should just work to get that out. But when you have speed on the base path and all of a sudden your focus goes that way, you start forgetting what can happen. And if Paige Sankey squares to bunt and your runners, your corners are crashing, who covers and what happens, and all of a sudden there's chaos. And then things get away from you, and then your pitcher's focused on other things, and that's when Oregon is their best. And so you have to be careful about that.
Runner goes, Schar down to second. Not in time. The stolen base now gives Kyla Schar 103 stolen bags in her career. That is the new school record here at Oregon.
And that was a great throw by Richardson. Immediately, Schar said, okay, I'm going. She was in no problem. The throw was on target, no issues with it, and yet still a safe call.
55 stolen bases on the season, the double nickel for Kyla Schar. 103 now in her career, the new school record.
You think about the cool cat that Kyla Schar is, too, by the way. I asked her if base stealing was her favorite thing, and she said, yeah, I think it's my favorite thing, but you know what? Home runs are pretty cool. Pretty cool, too. She just loves doing what she does and winning for Oregon.
She's won a lot. 47 games this year for the Ducks. Sinicki the batter. Full count. And the payoff. 2 hops over to short. Tegan Smith up to the challenge. Bouchard stranded at second. She'll set a school record. The Ducks stay off the scoreboard. 1-0. Top of the 4th coming up. Seen her a lot more often this year than I have. And in your opinion, as Sadie Kirk digs in, this has been a different version than what we saw, let's say, in the last 2 outings for the impeccable record and the incredible pitcher that she's been. First team All Big Ten for the regular season champions.
Well, let's even go back to more. She's had 8 appearances. Her last 8 appearances, she's only thrown 1 complete game in 20 innings pitched. Her ERA was 6.54. This is somebody that was lights out. Look how lights out she is right now. Lights out. In a 6.54 inning, she gave up 19 earned runs in those 20 innings pitched. And this fiery attitude that she has right now that everybody has seen across the nation throughout the season, I didn't see it. And for me, this is her success. Like, this is what the Lindsey Grine is that everybody knows. And regardless of what it was that wasn't there, this is what you would expect of her to continue on through the regional, to continue on as far as they can make it into postseason. So this is a really good sign for Oregon that they're getting back the Lindsey Grine that they knew prior to the last 8 appearances.
Patman records the first out in right field. Coach Lombardi mentioned the obsessive word that Grine has about her craft. And she said, you know, in college at this level, everybody has a certain skill set, right? I mean, everybody's got a certain level of tools. And Coach was like, it's your mentality that gives you an edge. And that mentality and that edge, I mean, that is defined by what we have seen in the circle today.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it. And to me, obsessive, sometimes people can take the wrong way, but as a pitcher, you have to be that sometimes. I mean, it's hard. Hitters are good, and you have to face 21 of them, or 21 outs, if you will, in a game to be successful. And so if you're not some level of obsessive in your craft, then you're not going to be successful. And that's the reality of it. And so for her to be like that, that's why she's as good as she is. And, you know, she had kind of mentioned she came in a month early when she transferred here to kind of work, and she showed up every day. And, you know, she was kind of mentioning that as because the freshmen also did that, and they came up and they showed up and they had that maturity as freshmen. And the expectation was that they wanted to win the World Series as much as she did, but that kind of personality extends just beyond her. It extends into the freshmen, it extends into the rest of this team, but she fits right in.
Fly ball, left field. Ballpark will hold it at the warning track. And Kyla Shar records the second out. It was a loud one off the bat of Grundy.
What I will say to give credit here to the Wildcats is that since those 7 strikeouts were recorded, there's been 3 pop flies. Second time through this lineup, Whalen recorded a strikeout there in the leadoff position, but Smith, Kirk, and Grundy, their second at-bats were not strikeouts. They were pop flies. So better adjustments there at their at-bats. But these next 4 batters, starting with Birkinshaw here, 4 straight strikeouts recorded in their first at-bats. So this is where adjustments have to be made in this lineup.
Birkinshaw began her career at New Mexico. Was the MVP of that Big Sky Tournament championship run. standout soccer and softball player at high school. Two 2-1 from Grind. Seven strikeouts for the Virginia Tech transfer. Over to short, Sinicki. Yes. Home half of the fourth inning coming up. Missy Lombardi set to join us next. Her team, a one not to cough is better. She started coughing a little bit.
Talked her right into it, right?
1-0 ball game. Wildcats have out-hit the Ducks so far, 2-1, but trail on the scoreboard. Callie McCraw in the circle for Weber State has held this Oregon offense in check, with the exception of Riley McCoy. Second pitch she has seen, it was outside of the zone. The first pitch she saw in her first postseason at bat. In the home half of the first, guess what it did? Right over the center field wall, counting for the lone run of the game.
Yeah, and this was a pitch on the outside corner. She just reaches for it and extends all the way over the fence. Talk about a freshman putting you on the board here. And Riley McCoy just, again, her ability to feel so veteran just as a freshman. She's got power to all parts of the field. Really just trying to connect with the ball.
3 balls and a strike.
You can see these are all of her home runs. She's not just hitting to the left side of the field or the right side of the field. I mean, she's going straight away center. She's hit some to right field, some to left field. And that's just seeing the ball where it's thrown and finding a way to drive it. Maybe happens to fall over the fence, but she's looking just to hit in the gap, hit line drive, and she drives it over the fence. And this time draws herself a walk.
Second walk issued by McCraw. McCoy now standing at first base. The Ducks can come at you in waves. We certainly understand that for the Big Ten champions. Pinch runner's going to check in now for Oregon as well. Reagan Legg. Kedri Lashar. Flight out to center field in the first inning after that home run hit by McCoy. 4:55 now in the campaign. Off speed, stays upstairs for McCraw. I mean, I've had that cough too, where it just, it doesn't go away. It could be allergies or something else. Everybody, I feel like, has had it. And it's just really annoying.
That will never go away. Sometimes.
Kind of like the annoying play-by-play announcer, according to some.
Not you, though, right?
No, it's never the one currently doing it. Leadoff batter aboard. That's the first time that's happened for either team today. Second game of the Eugene Regional. Energized crowd here. I do like the fact that Oregon was the later start. Enables a better turnout of the fans. You're scheduled to start at 4:30 local. This one swatted through the left side for a base hit. Tori Ray, who just checked in left field, comes up with it. And now the Ducks with the first 2 aboard here in the 4th inning.
Kedri Lashar is just so good this year. Her ability to connect with the pitches. 192 she batted last year. I mean, well over 450 now. Or just over 450, I should say. But that is a tremendous improvement. Drives this ball just opposite side of the field.
Big moment for the Ducks. Emma Cox pops it up right side. And the second baseman, Sadie Kirk. Not an easy play, twisting around towards that foul line for out number 1. Weber State Wildcats, the hang-around team so far, trailing 1-0. Stephanie Maake, Oregon hitter. San Diego native, first-year player. First pitch out of the zone.
Maake, 14 home runs. Type of player that can change the game with one swing of her bat and likes to swing early in the count, similar to McCoy.
Her time at Academy of Our Lady Peace back in San Diego led the region in home runs. Also in RBIs and batting average. That power is translated well into the Big Ten. A different year for the Ducks. We talked about it in our first game with Stanford moving into the ACC and the travel logistics involved in switching conferences, where the majority of that league is on the East Coast. And for Oregon, it was the same situation. The Big Ten perhaps a bit easier with the teams in the upper Midwest, but still a different year for this team. And what do? They go out and they win 47 games, claim the Big Ten regular season championship. 3-0 the count. And McCraw, there is activity in the Weber State bullpen. Jay Parra is trying to stay loose. Three and one.
If you're Maake, knowing that you could take that one for a ride just right over the heart of the plate.
You're tempted, right?
Oh, on a 3-0 count. Hard to have the green light on that.
Right back up the middle, and it spins its way all the way to the wall. 1 run is in. 2 runs will score. Maake, the 2-run double. And the crowd at Jane Sanders Stadium on its feet. And the Ducks have struck for 2 so far and counting.
Well, this was a frozen rope right up the middle. She sees this pitch, knows it's going to be a pitch that's well into the zone. Has to be to take your hack on a 3-1 count. A good hitter's pitch. Gets all the way to second base, clears the bases. Look at the energy she brings. Just a freshman. We talked about this freshman class being so mature, having the mindset that the rest of the veterans have here. Maturity to be able to know what it takes, to know what they want here. To work, the work ethic. Not being freshmen here and just having to learn as they get here, just coming in and expecting more out of themselves. Just one of those solid freshmen in this lineup.
Elise Crescio, pinch runner at second base. Maake, nothing but energy in that plate appearance. Here's Des Patman. Gives this one a ride. Deep right field, and it's gone. 9th home run of the season. 2 more on the board for the Oregon Ducks. The 0-1 offering smashed over the right field wall.
Well, this was a no-doubter. And Des Patman knew it. Takes her cut and immediately puts the hands up. Knew that she connected on it and took it for a ride right over the fence. 2 more on the board for the Ducks. And what did Missy Lombardi tell us? She was excited for the second time through the lineup. Now I understand why.
Indeed we do, Coach. 5-0 our score. Pitching change has been made. First pitch strike to Kaylin Jones. Jones grounded out 1-4-3 in the third. Outside as the count evens. Kaylin Jones named the Dallas Morning News State Softball Player of the Year in 2023. Hit a robust .540 that season in high school. Down at Denton. Stone's throw away from downtown Dallas in the Metroplex. I think I would consider Denton part of the Metroplex, even though I would think of Dallas and Fort Worth as the Metroplex. Grounded to third, out of the glove of Grundy. And with one away, a runner at first, and Kaylin Jones. 4 runs have scored so far here in the home half of the 4th inning. And an E5.
And this is where your defense needs to play cleanly. You get a new pitcher in, and the goal is to just get the outs. You can kind of feel that the offense is starting to heat up here for the Ducks, and you want the defense to play cleanly. Just an unfortunate error right after switching pitchers.
Now, the energy for both dugouts has been tremendous today and continues to be, but you can feel a little extra added mojo on the Oregon side behind third base. Here's Flannery. I think you can feel it here in our broadcast booth too.
Always good energy here.
It's been a fun start. We had to wait our turn on the West Coast. Naturally, you're going to have some of the later start times. We waited patiently, and teams waited patiently. Some circumstances, there were some travel issues getting here. Our friends from Binghamton, they made it. They had to switch airports in New York City. They had to go from LaGuardia to JFK and then fly over with a second plane. But we're here. We're having a great time.
Absolutely. Long trek for them, but if you look at it the right way, it's a good adventure.
Yes, I think so. Well, I mean, if you get called to come to Oregon, I think there's a natural excitement. This venue seats 2,500. Flannery's going to strike out. Good pitch, Merrill. And she swung away out of the zone. But all the teams told us, hey, we're excited to get here. When we popped up in Eugene, let's go. Let's make that plane flight.
Right. Coach Dalhousie talked about response, and this is a great response from Brooke Merrill here. You give up, you come into the game, your defense kind of has a little bit of an error, and then you get that strikeout, another defensive miscue, just trying to rush a throw here. Kylie Shar can do that to you with the speed she has.
That'll be a hit for Kylie Shar. Second time she's reached. Jones raced to second base, and here comes Paige Sinicki.
And there's a weird benefit for Weber State. There is a runner in front of Kylie Shar, so it is going to slow her down some.
That may be the only way.
Right.
Just to keep it in second gear.
You don't have as much ability to create havoc on the base path. And it's not that Kaylin Jones is slow by any means, but it does limit you in what you're able to do with Kylie Shar.
Ducks have batted around here in the 4th. Sinicki hitting .366. 0 for 2 today. Wildcats have maintained their positive vibes. Great energy Big Sky champions. I did ask the question of Coach Lamarty before we came on the air. Weather's great today. She said yes, and that is going to continue the rest of the weekend. I thought that was encouraging. We've seen the forecast this week. I love to talk weather.
Was she manifesting that into reality, though?
One hop over to short. Throw is high. In and out of the glove of the first baseman. Delgado couldn't haul it in. And now the bases are loaded. A lot happening in that sequence. Sinecki finds a way to get to first base. Jones now at third. Kyla Shar at second.
And just another rush throw here. Playing deep is Tegan Smith. And the throw gets away from Mariah Delgado. She said jump for it. When she jumps for it, falls out of her glove. And these are not bad pitches from Brooke Merrill in the circle. She's just got to keep throwing her game here. Trust her pitches.
Second error in the inning. And here comes Riley McCoy.
Yeah, this is not the batter you want to see if you're Brooke Merrill in Weber State.
Crowd is into it. Ducks, the hometown team, leading 5-0. And McCoy steps in the box. And you can tell she feels like she's in the zone. And Coach House out of the dugout knows the importance of this moment.
Always great concentration from Riley McCoy.
Well, don't miss a minute of the action. The NCAA softball regionals. You get the best live action on 7 innings live. The ESPN app, you can see every game, every big moment on the road to the Women's College World Series, only on the ESPN networks. And this is one of the big moments early in Eugene. Stanford awaits the winner of Oregon and Weber State, and the Ducks trying to slam the door here in the 4th inning in front of this capacity crowd. Riley McCoy, if you're just tuning in, provided the early fireworks. The solo shot in the 1st inning, and a chance to do more damage here. Oregon is batted around. Two and 0. Merrill lost the handle on that one. Oregon softball. Tori Ray will lead things off for Weber State. Big Sky champions. First AB for the junior from Salinas, California. .260 on the year. Lindsey Grind continues to deal the circle for the Oregon Ducks. And not 1 ounce of energy has left since this game first started.
I mean, yeah, she's taking complete command. That was a long inning for her to sit in the dugout, but
great grab there in the stands by a young fan from Brookings, Oregon.
Great applause from the fans, even support from the fan base for that foul ball catch.
2-2 to Ray, and Grind. Pop out, the shortstop, Sinecki, and there's one away.
And now feeding the defense a little more was Lindsey Grind, not taking as much command with the strikes, or excuse me, the strikeouts as she has, but still getting pop-ups. The last 5 outs have been pop-ups. Excuse me, 4 out of 5 outs have been pop-ups. 1 ground ball.
Eva Richardson golfs this one towards the gap. That's going to get all the way to the wall. And it spun away the center fielder for a moment, Luchar. Crescio came up with it. And with one away, a runner at second base for the Wildcats. And the extra base knock. Eva Richardson. And that'll be her 8th double of the year.
This pitch was low in the zone, and Richardson just goes down and gets it. Good launch angle, goes up. It's deep enough, gets over Crescio's head. Just able to leg it out for a double.
Lagos comes in as a pinch runner.
I say sometimes getting back into that rhythm when you're in the dugout for a little bit of time takes a second. And if you're grind, you kind of got to remember that this has to feel like a 0-0 ball game. Feel that energy and continue to deal the way you were.
Kiara Smith, Wildcats hitter. So Richardson at second base. That's the first extra base hit for Weber State in this game. And the first plate appearance for Kiara Smith. Well, Coach House trying to manufacture a run or two in this frame. With Weber State right back in it. And that'll prompt a conversation in the circle here as Emma Cox pops up. Lindsey Grind looks towards the Oregon dugout. And they're going to get a couple of new softballs from down there. What would prompt you to ask for a new softball?
Bad seams. Sometimes you'll get a ball, either or a new ball. If you have bad seams on a ball where they're not as raised, which to me I always like raised seams, or you get a brand new softball that they haven't kind of roughed up in the dirt, and sometimes there's like a finish on the softball that becomes slippery, and then you can't really, like, it'll slip right off your hands, and then you can't move the pitch as well. So to me, those were the two things. You get better spin on higher seams, and the ball will be slippery if you have a new ball. So you want something that's kind of been roughed up a little bit.
So you would literally get a new ball, rub it in the dirt?
You can't rub it in the dirt. That's technically, you're not supposed to be able to do that. But you want something that you can kind of work through. Yeah. But I used to be really picky, so...
I don't believe that for a second.
In practice, because Coach Hutch, the legend that she is, used to get mad at how picky I was. She gave me a bucket of the world's worst balls, waterlogged and flat seams and everything, and said, throw these until you're okay with them. And so I learned my lesson on that and never switched balls out after that. But you do have to be comfortable with them, and you do have to control them. So it's your job in there. Make the pitch move, get your outs.
Smith, the sophomore from South Jordan, Utah. 304 hitter this season. Homer in 13 driven in. A tough take, just out of the zone. Crowd here at Jane Sanders. A little something to say. Veteran umpiring crew today. They've done a nice job. Scott Wallace calling balls and strikes behind home plate. Weber State and Smith in a pinch hitting role. Draws the one-out walk. And don't go anywhere just yet. The Wildcats trying to rally here in the top of the fifth.
And Coach Dalhousie talks about this team having a 23 starter mentality. They talk about using every single player on the team in some sort of way, and you're seeing use of pinch runners, pinch hitters, and finding a way to make it work, getting some pinch hitters on base and some pinch runners, and it's kind of bringing a little spark of energy here.
Here's Jordan McMahon, one of two slappers in the starting lineup today for the Wildcats.
Not a bad miss there. A little bit off the plate. Oregon fan base here that really wants that corner.
1-2. Yeah, really would be an understatement. We felt that here in our broadcast position tonight.
If it grazes the chalk line of the other batter's box, it probably is not a strike.
Sokolsky and Spencer getting loose. Another strikeout for Grind in the quick toss down to second. 8 strikeouts for Lindsey Grind.
And that was a huge strikeout by Grind to kind of get back into her groove, and necessary. The off speed coming in again, and something that she has been so good at, kind of absent in the first couple batters here. Finally gets a swing and a miss from McMahon. Good second out this inning.
Sienna Solis steps in. Back to the top of the order for Weber State. And Grind has refound that mojo. If it left for a moment, it wasn't very long. Solis, a sophomore out of Gilbert, Arizona. 215 on the year.
Normally you wouldn't think to pinch hit your leadoff hitter, but especially Riley Whalen, who's kind of been a leader in this lineup. But Whalen, 2 Ks against Lindsey Grind, really not seeing the ball well against her.
This capacity crowd, Jane Sanders Stadium, will tell you the story. Lindsey Grind in command in Eugene. Nothing. Ducks leading Weber State. Winner of this game gets Stanford tomorrow. Winner's bracket. Kedri Luchar into center field. It was bobbled for a moment by McMahon, and Kedri will make him pay.
Kedri Luchar paying attention to small details. Even a simple bobble, she just does not slow down. First pitch swinging here, finding a pitch within her strike zone. As soon as she sees that bobble, does not slow up and continues forward all the way to second base. Already a runner in scoring position with a leadoff hitter here for the Ducks.
And a record-setting day for her older sister Kai. Kedri up to the challenge. Emma Cox is as well. Stop sign put up. Luchar at third, and the Ducks are rolling, runners at the corners. And back-to-back knocks. And we have seen the full power on display this afternoon and now evening. 2 teams out of the Power 4. Stanford from the ACC, Oregon out of the Big Ten. Presley Lawson comes in. Check that. Lawton as the pinch runner. She replaces Cox at first base. Now this Oregon roster, blessed with so much talent, the Big Ten regular season champions, and the energy that we've seen on display, well, it's been significant. Stephanie Maake, the hitter. Squared to bunt, runner takes off for second, throw gets away, and the runner from third comes home to score. Luchar slides in safely to make it 6-0 Ducks.
When as soon as that first and third was on, you could see as soon as that throw was made, Luchar was running. And that throw then overthrown. You could see the disappointment on Richardson's face as it was overthrown.
Still nobody out. Stephanie Maake, the Big Ten all-freshman team performer this year. The 14 home runs, the double, it drove in 2 earlier. Big-time prospect coming out of the San Diego area. Fly ball to right field. Birkinshaw's there. And the runner tags. Lawton racing into third base. So after Lawton stole second, Shar stole home. Unearned run scores. And here's Patman. And she's got power.
Yeah, just with 1 out, even somebody with power, just being able to lift it into the outfield with the speed of Lawton, you can have a productive out just with a sac fly. Patman seen the ball so well. Her last hit, that home run, that was powerful moonshot.
9th long ball this season. 2-1.
Big swing there.
Scott Wallace going to give Brooke Merrill a chance to reach down and tie that left shoe. She's very appreciative. I don't know that I've seen that before.
The timeout for a tied shoe. I have not seen that either.
Hammered to the gap, off the wall. A run scores, and Patman, an emphatic double, makes it 7-0 Ducks.
Patman has continued to impress today. That home run, she's been right on time. This pitch on time again. Doesn't even follow through, but lifts it into the gap. Good hard hit. Easily able to score. It's Presley Lawton from third base. Patman gets all the way to second base. Weber State wanting to talk about it just a little bit. She's 2 for 3 today. That's Patman. Bottom of your lineup showing up here for Oregon, but a solid 1 through 9 here. That's able to produce in a lot of ways, and the speed that they have that creates havoc on the base path as well.
And the Ducks thinking about ending this one early. With a 7-0 lead in the bottom of the 5th inning. High hop over to second. Kirk up with it. Advancing to third is Patman. It's the second out of the inning. So Jones is retired. And I felt like Kirk was waiting forever for that ball to finally get there off the high carom. Missy Lombardi go back to her bench. Gracie Rosa. Pinch hit for Katie Flannery. Now Stanford won game 1, 9-2. It's Binghamton. America East champions. Oregon trying to handle Weber State in this Eugene regional and potentially set up a, well, what we would have called just last year, all Pac-12 winners bracket matchup tomorrow between two old rivals, Oregon and Stanford. Different story in 2025, the ACC and the Big Ten.
And if you're Brooke Merrill, this is the hitter you want to go after in Gracie Rosa. Somebody that has not seen your pitches, that has not seen a lot of pitching coming off the bench. Really, for me, is every time you can see a pinch hitter, that's when you get your chance to really attack the zone. I know pinch hitters come in for their chance to make something happen, but I always look at that, obviously from a pitcher's point of view, but as an advantage to the pitcher. Pound the zone, make your pitches work.
4-pitch walk, and it's back to the top of the order.
Even with 2 outs, I don't think you can, with Oregon, you cannot rule out a 1st and 3rd situation for them to try to find a way to score Patman there from 3rd base, to get in a rundown. Weber State has to decide if they're just going to concede 2nd base there to Gracie Rosa. If they're going to try to make that throw and get the out.
Record-setting afternoon for Kyla Shar. The bounce, the hop, the throw, not in time. Kyla Shar does it again, and the Oregon Ducks, the run rule victory in their first game of the 2025 postseason.